Boolean Algebra Part 3. Hello friends, let us continue with our discussion on Boolean Algebra. In this session, we will see the applications of Boolean Algebra in the digital networks. The operation of a circuit is defined by a Boolean function that specifies the value of an output for each set of inputs. The first step in constructing a circuit is to represent its Boolean function by an expression built up using the basic operations of Boolean algebra. The expression that we obtain may contain many more operations than are necessary to represent the function. In this session, we will describe methods for finding an expression with the minimum number of sums and products that represents a Boolean function. The procedures that we will develop, Karnaugh maps and the Quine-McCluskey method are important in the design of efficient circuits. First is a definition, functional completeness. Every Boolean function can be expressed as a Boolean sum of min terms. Each min term is the Boolean product of Boolean variables or their complements. This shows that every Boolean function can be represented using the Boolean operators dot, plus and bar. Because every Boolean function can be represented using these operators, we say that the set dot, plus, bar is functionally complete. We can find a smaller set of functionally complete operators if one of the three operators of this set can be expressed in terms of the other two. This can be done using one of the De Morgan's laws. We can eliminate all Boolean sums using the identity x plus y is equal to x bar into y bar the whole complement. This is obtained by taking complements of both sides of De Morgan's law. X plus y the whole bar is equal to x bar into y bar and then applying the double complementation law. This means that the set dot bar is functionally complete. Similarly, we could eliminate all Boolean products using the identity x into y is equal to x bar plus y bar the whole complement, which is obtained by taking complements on both sides of x into y bar is equal to x bar plus y bar. Consequently, the set plus bar is functionally complete. Note that the set plus dot is not functionally complete because it is impossible to express the Boolean function f of x is equal to x bar using these operators. Now, let us define logic gates. Logic gates. Boolean algebra is used to model the circuitry of electronic devices. Each input and each output of such a device can be thought of as a member of the set 0 1. A computer or any other electronic device is made up of a number of circuits. Each circuit can be designed using the rules of Boolean algebra that we have studied in the previous session. The basic elements of circuits are called gates. Each type of gate implements a Boolean operation. The circuits that have no memory capabilities are called combinational circuits or gating networks. We will construct combinational circuits using three types of elements. The first is an inverter which accepts the value of one Boolean variable as input and produces the complement of this value as its output. The symbol used for an inverter is shown in figure 1a. The next type of element we will use is the OR gate. The inputs to this gate are the values of two or more Boolean variables. The output is the Boolean sum of their values. The symbol used for an OR gate is shown in figure 1b. The third type of element we will use is the AND gate. The inputs to this gate are the values of two or more Boolean variables. The output is the Boolean product of their values. The symbol used for an AND gate is shown in figure 1c. The inputs to the inverter, OR gate and AND gate are shown on the left side entering the element and the output is shown on the right side leaving the element. This is figure 1 showing the basic types of gates. We can have multiple inputs to AND and OR gates. Examples of AND and OR gates with n inputs are shown in figure 2. This is figure 2 which shows the gates with n inputs. we will move on to examples of circuits. We will give some examples of circuits that perform some useful functions. Example 1. A committee of 3 individuals decides issues for an organization. Each individual votes either yes or no for each proposal that arises. A proposal is passed if it receives at least 2 yes votes. Design a circuit that determines whether a proposal passes. The solution: let x equal to 1 if the first individual votes yes and x equal to 0 if this individual votes no. Let y equal to 1 if the second individual votes yes and y equal to 0 if this individual votes no. And let z equal to 1 if the third individual votes yes and z equal to 0 if this individual votes no. Then a circuit must be designed that produces the output 1 from the inputs x, y and z when 2 or more of x, y and z are 1. One representation of the Boolean function that has these output values is x into y plus x into z plus y into z. The circuit that implements this function is shown in figure 3. This is figure 3, which shows a circuit of majority voting. Minimization of circuits. The efficiency of a combinational circuit depends on the number and arrangement of its gates. The process of designing a combinational circuit begins with the table specifying the output for each combination of input values. We can always use the sum of products expansion of a circuit to find a set of logic gates that will implement this circuit. However, the sum of products expansion may contain many more terms than are necessary. Terms in a sum of products expansion that differ in just one variable can be combined so that in one term this variable occurs and in the other term the complement of this variable occurs. For example, consider the circuit that has output 1 if and only if x equal to y equal to z equal to 1 or x equal to z equal to 1 and y equal to 0. The sum of products expansion of this circuit is y into z plus x into y bar into z. The two products in this expansion differ in exactly one variable, namely y. They can be combined as x into y into z plus x into y bar into z is equal to y plus y bar into x into z, which is equal to 1 into x z, which is equal to x z. Hence, x z is a Boolean expression with fewer operators that represents the circuit. The two different implementation of this circuit is given in figure 4. Figure 4 shows the two circuits with same output. The second circuit uses only one gate, whereas the first circuit uses 3 gates and an inverter. This example shows that combining terms in the sum of products expansion of a circuit leads to a simpler expression for the circuit. We will describe two procedures that simplify sum of products expansion. The goal of both procedures is to produce Boolean sums of Boolean products that represent a Boolean function with the fewest products of literals such that these products contain the fewest literals possible among all sums of products that represent a Boolean function. Finding such a sum of products is called minimization of the Boolean function. Minimizing a Boolean function makes it possible to construct a circuit for this function that uses the fewest gates and fewest inputs to the AND gates and OR gates in the circuit among all circuits for the Boolean expression we are minimizing. Until the early 1960s, logic gates were individual components. To reduce costs, it was important to use the fewest gates to produce a desired output. However, in mid-1960s, integrated circuit technology was developed that made it possible to combine gates on a single chip. Even though it is now possible to build increasingly complex integrated circuits on chips at low cost, minimization of Boolean functions remains important. Reducing the number of gates on a chip can lead to a more reliable circuit and can reduce the cost to produce the chip. Also, minimization makes it possible to fit more circuits on the same chip. Furthermore, minimization reduces the number of inputs to gates in a circuit. This reduces the time used by a circuit to compute its output. Moreover, the number of inputs to a gate may be limited because of the particular technology used to build logic gates. The first procedure we will introduce, known as Karnaugh maps or K-maps, was designed in the 1950s to help minimize circuits by hand. K-maps are useful in minimizing circuits with up to 6 variables, although they become rather complex even for 5 or 6 variables. Karnaugh maps. To reduce the number of terms in a Boolean expression representing a circuit, it is necessary to find terms to combine. There is a graphical method called a Karnaugh map or K-map for finding terms to combine for Boolean functions involving a relatively small number of variables. The method we will describe was introduced by Maurice Karnaugh in 1953. His method is based on earlier work by E. W. Veitch. This method is usually applied only when the function involves 6 or fewer variables. K-maps give us a visual method for simplifying sum of products expansion. We will first illustrate how K-maps are used to simplify expansions of Boolean functions in 2 variables. We will continue by showing how K-maps can be used to minimize Boolean functions in 3 variables. There are 4 possible minterms in the sum of products expansion of a Boolean function in the 2 variables x and y. A K-map for a Boolean function in these 2 variables consists of 4 cells, where a 1 is placed in the cell representing a minterm if this minterm is present in the expansion. Cells are said to be adjacent if the minterms that they represent differ in exactly 1 literal. For instance, the cell representing x bar y is adjacent to the cells representing x y and x bar y bar. The 4 cells and the terms that they represent are shown in figure 5. This is figure 5, which shows the K-maps in 2 variables. Going to examples. Example 1. Find the K-maps for the first one, y plus x bar into y, second one, x into y bar plus x bar into y, and third one, x into y bar plus x bar into y plus x bar into y bar. Solution. We include a 1 in a cell when the minterm represented by the cell is present in the sum of products expansion. The 3 K-maps are shown in figure 6. Here you can see 3 K-maps A, B, C for the sum of products expansion given in example 1. Moving to example 2, simplify the sum of products expansion given in example 1. Solution. The grouping of minterms is shown in figure 7 using the K-maps for these expansions. Minimal expansions for these sum of products are, for the first one it is y, second one it is x into y bar plus x bar into y, and for the third one it is x bar plus y bar. You can see the figure in which simplifying the sum of products expansion of the problem given in example 2 is shown. A K-map in 3 variables is a rectangle divided into 8 cells. The cells represent the 8 possible minterms in 3 variables. 2 cells are said to be adjacent if the minterms that they represent differ in exactly 1 literal. One of the ways to form a K-map in 3 variables is shown in figure 8a. This K-map can be thought of as lying on a cylinder as shown in figure 8b. On the cylinder, 2 cells have a common border if and only if they are adjacent. You can see figure 8. the K-maps in 3 variables. To simplify a sum of product expansion in 3 variables, we use the K-map to identify blocks of minterms that can be combined. Blocks of 2 adjacent cells represent pairs of minterms that can be combined into a product of 2 literals. 2 by 2 and 4 by 1 blocks of cells represent minterms that can be combined into a single literal, and the block of all 8 cells represents a product of no literals, namely the function 1. In figure 9, 1 by 2, 2 by 1, 2 by 2, 4 by 1 and 4 by 2 blocks and the products they represent are shown. In figure 9, you can see the blocks in K-maps in 3 variables. The product of literals corresponding to a block of all ones in the K-map is called an implicant of the function being minimized. It is called a prime implicant if this block of ones is not contained in a larger block of ones representing the product of fewer literals than in this product. The goal is to identify the largest possible blocks in the map and cover all the ones in the map with the least number of blocks, using the largest blocks first. The largest possible blocks are always chosen, but we must always choose a block if it is the only block of ones covering a 1 in the K-map. Such a block represents an essential prime implicant. By covering all the ones in the map with blocks corresponding to prime implicants, we can express the sum of products as the sum of prime implicants. Note that there may be more than one way to cover all the ones using the least number of blocks. Example 3 illustrates how K-maps in 3 variables are used. Example 3. Use K-maps to minimize these sum of products expansion. A, x into y into z bar plus x into y bar into z bar plus x bar into y into z plus x bar into y bar into z bar. B, x into y bar into z plus x into y bar into z bar plus x bar into y into z plus x bar into y bar into z plus x bar into y bar into z bar. Solution. The K-maps for these sum of products expansion are shown in figure 10. The grouping of blocks shows that minimal expansions into Boolean sums of Boolean products are, for the first one, x into z bar plus y bar into z bar plus x bar into y into z, and for the second one it is y bar plus x bar into z. This is figure 10, and you can see how K-maps are used to minimize the sum of product expansions. A K-map in 4 variables is a square that is divided into 16 cells. The cells represent the 16 possible minterms in 4 variables. The K-map of a sum of products expansion in 4 variables can be thought of as lying on a torus, so that adjacent cells have a common boundary. The simplification of a sum of products expansion in 4 variables is carried out by identifying those blocks of 2, 4, 8 or 16 cells that represent minterms that can be combined. Each cell representing a minterm must either be used to form a product using fewer literals or be included in the expansion. As is the case in K-maps in 2 and 3 variables, the goal is to identify the largest blocks of ones in the map that correspond to the prime implicants and to cover all the ones using the fewest blocks needed, using the largest blocks first. The largest possible blocks are always used. K-maps can realistically be used to minimize Boolean functions with 5 or 6 variables, but beyond that they are rarely used because they become extremely complicated. The second one is the Quine-McCluskey method. The second procedure we will describe, the Quine-McCluskey method, was invented in 1960s. It automates the process of minimizing combinatorial circuits and can be implemented as a computer program. Basically, the Quine-McCluskey method consists of two parts. The first part finds those terms that are candidates for inclusion in a minimal expansion as a Boolean sum of Boolean products. The second part determines which of these terms to actually use. We will use an example to illustrate how this procedure works by successively combining implicants into implicants with one fewer literal. Example 4. Use the Quine-McCluskey method to find a minimal expansion equivalent to xyz plus xy bar z plus x bar yz plus x bar y bar z plus x bar y bar z bar. Solution. We will represent the min terms in this expansion by bit strings. The first bit will be 1 if x occurs and 0 if x bar occurs. The second bit will be 1 if y occurs and 0 if y bar occurs. The third bit will be 1 if z occurs and 0 if z bar occurs. We then group these terms according to the number of ones in the corresponding bit strings. This information is shown in table 1. In table 1, you can see the min terms and the corresponding bit strings and the number of ones in each bit string. Min terms that can be combined are those that differ in exactly one literal. Hence, two terms that can be combined differ by exactly 1 in the number of ones in the bit strings that represent them. When two min terms are combined into a product, this product contains two literals. A product in two literals is represented using a dash to denote the variable that does not occur. For instance, the min terms x y bar z and x bar y bar z represented by bit strings 101 and 001 can be combined into y bar z represented by the string -01. All pairs of min terms that can be combined and the product formed from these combinations are shown in table 2. Next, all pairs of products of two literals that can be combined are combined into one literal. Two such products can be combined if they contain literals for the same two variables and literals for only one of the two variables differ. In terms of the strings representing the products, these strings must have a dash in the same position and must differ in exactly one of the other two slots. We can combine the products yz and y bar z represented by strings -11 and -01 into z represented by the string -1. We show all the combinations of terms that can be formed in this way in table 2. In table 2, we also indicate which terms have been used to form products with fewer literals. These terms will not be needed in a minimal expansion. The next step is to identify a minimal set of products needed to represent the Boolean function. We begin with all those products that were not used to construct products with fewer literals. Next, we form table 3, which has a row for each candidate product formed by combining original terms and a column for each original term, and we put an x in a position if the original term in the sum of products expansion was used to form this candidate product. In this case, we say that the candidate product covers the original min term. We need to include at least one product that covers each of the original min terms. Consequently, whenever there is only one x in a column in the table, the product corresponding to the row this x is in must be used. From table 3, we see that both z and x bar y bar are needed. Hence, the final answer is z plus x bar y bar. Before winding up the session, let us summarize what we have learned. We began the session by seeing what is meant by functional completeness of Boolean operators. Then we saw logic gates and examples of circuits. We saw what is meant by minimization of a circuit. Finally, we saw two methods, namely K-map and Quine-McCluskey method, that are used for minimization of circuits by reducing the number of terms in a Boolean expression. Here are some exercise problems to test your knowledge. First one, construct circuits from inverters, AND gates and OR gates to produce these outputs: A, x bar plus y, B, x y z plus x bar y bar z bar. Second one, find the sum of product expansions represented by each of these K-maps. Third one, use a K-map to find a minimal expansion as a Boolean sum of Boolean products of the function x into y plus x into y bar of Boolean variables x and y. Fourth one, explain how K-map can be used to simplify the sum of products expansions of 4 Boolean variables. Fifth one, define a Boolean operator at the rate as follows: 1 at the rate 1 is equal to 1, 1 at the rate 0 is equal to 0, 0 at the rate 1 is equal to 0, and 0 at the rate 0 is equal to 1. Determine whether the set at the rate is functionally complete. These are the list of books for reference. First one is Discrete Mathematical Structures, 3rd edition by Coleman, Busby and Ross, by Prentice Hall, Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. Second one is Discrete Mathematics and its Application, 6th edition by Kenneth H. Rosen, by McGraw-Hill International Edition. Third one is Elements of Discrete Mathematics, 2nd edition by C. L. Liu, by McGraw-Hill International Edition, Computer Science Series, 1986. Fourth one is Discrete Mathematics, 6th edition by Richard Johnson Baugh, by Pearson Prentice Hall in 2005. Fifth one is Introductory Discrete Mathematics by V. K. Balakrishnan in 1991. With this, we come to an end of our chapter on Boolean algebra. Hope you all enjoyed the session. Bye.